I live here, broadcast from Wiltshire and Cambridgeshire, and today, with our friend Rikki, we're actually broadcasting, if I can get the right thing, broadcasting from Hull. Rikki, hello. Fonz, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Good
Hi.
to see you, Fonz. Good to see you, Steven. Yep.
Hi.
Here up north.
It's definitely up north, is Hull. I mean, you're in Yorkshire.
Yep. We're definitely Yorkshire, right on the Humber. Whole city of culture. Well, the next 2 or 3 years, I think it is 4 years in total. But last year was the big year, but this year it's still pretty good. So, and I've lived here now since 2001. I came up here literally just at the point at which I was deciding whether to change gender or not, and thought maybe I need a new change of scene because I lived in the south, and so I came up here. I had some friends. My mum was born up in Hull, so I had some contact here and some connection. Some friends here who said, "Hey, come and just stay with us for a while. We've got a house that's nearly empty." So that was it, and I loved it. It's probably the friendliest city I'd ever been to, and I think as you walk through, you'll see why. And I know a lot of people who live here think it isn't, but I absolutely love it. I think it's a great city, and it's now worth visiting because it's sort of been going. Now my gimbal keeps twisting my camera the wrong way, but we'll keep going and see. My gimbals keep twisting. Now, just to give some idea, I'm here. This wasn't here 10 years ago. Well, 11 years ago. This is St. Stephen's. It's the big new shopping centre that's just been put up here. 10 years ago it was put up here, and it's like a street, completely and totally covered street. And just to behind me, you can see the huge big Tesco Extra there. It's an absolutely massive place. It's a huge warehouse. If you want to pop in there just for a quick sandwich, that can take you half an hour just to find it. It's right centre in the middle of the Hull. You've got the biggest supermarket in the city. But most of the right stores are here. So I'm going to walk down through here. I'm going to flick it into. Go.
Yeah, sorry. It's strange to see Tesco's inside a shopping centre.
I know.
Usually they've got their own bit of land with their car park and stuff, haven't they? So it's strange.
No, with the car park, they have got a car park underneath. It's their car park. I'm parked in there now, but I'm going to shop there later. So as long as you shop within 2 hours, you can spend a £5. You can park there. So I'm just going to flick this into the other vote as we walk down and have a little chat as we walk down through. There we go. And what you can see in front of me is the staircase which leads up to the sort of cafe area, Starbucks, and the various things up there. But you can, if I just sort of swing it up a little bit, you can see this huge big glass roof all the way around down there. It's just an amazing feat. 200 million quid, I think they spent trying to put this thing together. But it is now what it's done, of course, in Hull. We'll see the other main shopping centre at the other end of town when we get down there. But what it's done is to move everything up the town, so that the streets that were busy and were really thriving when I first arrived here in 2001 are now dead, struggling to survive because everything's moved up towards this, because this is like the big centre for all shopping. Everybody comes to St. Stephen's, and that was part of the goal, was to create a shopping centre that actually people would want to come here instead of going to Leeds or going to York. They'd think, I'll go to shop. And do some shopping, and I think they've achieved that. I like it. I love it. It's got a real atmosphere to it. I think some of us didn't shop here for a while at the start because we were a bit miffed that they were destroying some of the traditional areas. But in all honesty, it's turned out pretty good. So
do you know the connection of why it's called St. Stephen? Is it St.
I don't. I need to get that. I think there was an old church here. But I have to say, I mean, we're going to go down into the main street in a second. We're nearly there. We're getting to the gate.
I like the effect on the roof as you're coming up to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely huge. I mean, I have to say, the shop down the corner just past here is Next. And about a year after they opened up, you see these huge big glass plate windows. One of them fell off.
Wow.
That was deadly serious. Oh my God, it really shook everybody. But there we go. That's St. Stephen's, and it's not just St. Stephen's. It was done all around it. It was a massive investment. There was supposed to be lots of flats and things built behind, but 2010 all the money ran out, and that was the end of that. But this is where people will arrive, because across here over to my, whoops, swing it around there, over there on the right, let's get it up so you can see it. That's Paragon Station, the whole interchange. There's a huge new bus station built there, and the station around there. The cafe here, Cafe Nero here, and some of these things at the front. This was just a square, but they've slowly been adding things to it. Big super dry shop there. So again, it's all.
So what did you say was here before? Just this was open space.
Well, the station was here. This was the bus station, and it was a horrible place. Oh God, ghastly, horrible, really old bus station. But it's that's all gone now, replaced with a huge new great bus station. And I'm just going to look down the road here. I can hardly see anything. So just down the road, you can't quite see. Oh, you might be able to just see it from the. Oh, swing right. No, the other way. There we go. Go away. No, I can't see anything on my phone at the moment, so I can't see what I'm doing. Right, just down the road there, I think you can probably just see it now in the corner. That's Hull Truck Theatre, the famous theatre. It used to be at the back, and they knocked it down, moved it to the front, and it's one of the best small independent theatres in the country. John Godber is the man behind it all. He's written some amazing plays, and yeah, it's just a fabulous place. A small theatre, about seats about 400, but we do have a bigger theatre. So I'm going to cross the road when all this whole street, everything down here is pretty much changed. There's a, whoops, sorry, going to the floor there.
So you moved there as the changing process happened. So you've seen it happen.
Yeah, it's all. There's a brand new Hilton hotel just been built recently, and right over the back, you can't see it, we won't. There's a brand new 3,500 seater venue, music and entertainment venue. So Hull's really now trying desperately after city culture to start attracting people into the city. Let's get here before I get mown down by the buses.
So there's certainly a lot of buses, isn't there, coming in and out?
Oh, well, it's because, the bus, I said, we are right near the bus station, so you're going to see it. Right in front of me is Propaganda. If you're gay, you need to know about this. This is Propaganda. This is probably the top gay bar in the city. It's during the day, it's basically a sort of family bar, but at night, it's turns the volume up, brings in the drag acts, and it's a great place. And there's a club around the corner as well that's owned by the same people, but Prop's the place where people mostly go. Now I'm just going to walk down, because apart from this road I've just crossed, what you'll see is that Hull is pretty much pedestrianised. Almost the entire city is one big pedestrian precinct. The new shopping centre we've just been in, that's all pedestrianised. A bit of wind here today, so I can't really catch that out. But do please ask questions as we're going along.
Yeah. But a lot of cities are coming pedestrianised now. I think they're trying to cut the traffic from the city centre.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense, because it just makes the whole city opens it up. It means that people can put tables and chairs outside the cafes and bars, and it creates a better city. I think, like most cities, we have the same problem. At 5 o'clock, the whole thing shuts down. Yeah, there's nobody here.
I think as long as you've got a transport system like buses and stuff to get in and out, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Shouldn't be, no, and it's not. Actually, there are loads and loads of big car parks around here.
Saying that, there are a lot of old-fashioned people who know how it was, especially talking from my experience from Cambridge. The pedestrianisation of it was not a good idea, because so used to just being able to drive into the city centre. Yeah. So it's a generation thing, I think.
So this is going to change a bit. Oops, turned too quickly for it. This is House of Fraser. This is one of the last remaining bits of the old city. They're soon to go, so who knows what. So this is Jameson Street, sort of one of the main pedestrian drags from the bus station. So if anybody comes here, arrives at the station and walks into Hull, they'll cross the road, and this is where they'll be coming up.
Is that a KFC?
As you can see. Oh, I'm sure there's KFC there. You've got to remember, at night, Hull
like
is a
KFC.
drink. At night, Hull is a drinking venue. I don't mean there are drinking venues here. At night, Hull is a drinking venue. Okay, there are stacks and stacks of bars. People drink a lot, and so you have huge amounts of drinking. A lot of that's down in the old town, which is there's no shops. It's just bars, and they only open in the evening, so it's like dead during the day, and everything moves down there. But we're going to come up to Victoria Square, and I'm going to. Whoa! Come on! No. I have this slow button that moves the camera.
I can imagine the road the path you're walking down would have been a free fare at one point. You could be able to drive up and down.
Oh, it was a main thoroughfare. This was the main centre. Although what's happened is for City of Culture, they literally ripped up all the streets here. Most of these trees were imported and put in here. They just took everything out, all the streets where everything was removed, replaced the whole lot. It took about a year and a half to get the whole thing together, but it is good. Sadly, there's the chewing gum now filling up the streets, but there we go. Waterstone's one of my favourite places. Nice thing, Waterstones now have cafes, so we can get up in the cafe there and pick a book up.
I don't know if you've got any around where you are. There's in Cambridge, they've got record bars where you can buy vinyl and sit in a cafe as well, so you can have a cup of coffee, and actually you can try your vinyl out. Ask, can you play it while you're having something to drink? And if you want to buy it, you can buy it. Is there anything like that where you are?
I don't think we've got one of those yet. That sounds a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, now I'm just going to come. We're only going to see part of this building. I'm going to sort of point it out because Hull has had a big problem with lack of investment. The building which you can see up there, the big pink front, that was British Home Stores. The other side of it was C&A. You need to be old to remember that.
C&A, brilliant place.
But I've been here since 2001, and the C&A side of it has been empty all of that time. At one point, they tried to make it a nightclub, tried to make it in a market. There are other buildings around it. Now, behind there is the last bomb site in Hull. Yeah, it was quite literally.
You talking about Hull?
No, that's right beside me. Just behind me. Now that you can just see literally sort of through the corner. Where's the car park over there? That was the last bomb site in Hull. The last place. Yeah, they cleared it, never rebuilt it. It's being changed. New buildings are going up. All of this has just finally been sold. We don't know who's got it, what's going to happen. But it's like the last area of Hull which has just never had any development pretty much since the war. It's just been an absolute nightmare. But slowly but surely it's coming about. And I think City of Culture really has helped. That's attracted in Hilton Hotel, Premier Inn, a few other hotels. And that's made other people say, oh, well, maybe it's worth investing.
White telephone box.
Now, you need to understand this. Let me tell you a bit of history here. I do know this bit.
I do too.
Hull has never been British Telecom. Never. British Telecom were never here. They never owned any phones in Hull. The whole thing was owned by the council, and it's called Kingston Communications. It's now been sold off. Council made some money. A few other people did. But the significant thing is we have yellow telephones, not red ones.
I see yellow. It looks white to me.
Or white, cream.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, now we have a problem that since BT has now sort of effectively had to open its doors up to everybody else, you can get pretty much any service you like on the old BT networks. But nobody wants to bother to come to Hull. It's only 100,000 subscribers, or 250,000. Yeah. And so we now end up with a monopoly. So we're stuck. We have to have it now. In fairness to KC, they have installed blisteringly fast mobile Wi-Fi or fibre right to the house, not to boxes. Every single house has fibre connections right to the door. So I get sort of what is it, 7 megabits a second, or gigabits or whatever it is, stupidly fast.
Brilliant. Just a couple of questions that have come in.
Go.
From Barbara, what is the weather like today? Very British question, but
today a little windy, but actually very sunny. I'm here in a t-shirt and just a cardigan on, and I was really surprised. I thought, wow, that's going to be That's excellent. So it's a good day. This morning I thought it was going to be peeing down with rain. I thought, oh no! But there we go. So here we are at Queen Victoria Square. Now they really have zapped this up. One of the things that's odd about Hull, compared to almost everywhere else in Yorkshire, is that you'll notice, and I'll just swing around so you can see that building there. Can you see? Oops, see the one there? That's the Maritime Museum.
Yeah.
And here's all the lovely fountains here. The kids absolutely love this. Every Saturday.
That's a lovely view. I would love to sit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a fabulous place.
It looks really, you know what I mean, tranquil and nice sitting there.
Yeah. It's hectic on the weekends, but
and question from Cheryl. Question from Cheryl. Victoria Square, is that named after the Queen?
It is named after Queen Victoria. Yeah. She visited here, and I think that's how she got herself there. Can't remember exactly. Quite a few of these buildings got knocked out, got bombed during the war, but not Cafe Nero, which is an old. Now you'll notice very continental style of buildings, and that's because Hull is a fishing port, and it's much more connected to Denmark and Norway and Iceland and all the fishing communities, and so they have influenced the style of building. So what you get is these very continental style of buildings, and people sometimes miss it because they walk around and they don't sort of have a quick look up and see as you get up these incredible parapets and amazing buildings up at the top. I mean, look at the Cafe Nero up there with that huge, like, dove tower. And if I just turn around, the sun's going to be in the way.
I don't know if Stephen agrees. That's an amazing view, isn't it? That is really.
Yeah. I'm just going to try and turn this around very slowly.
Wow. Okay. Because the day, how it's nice and sunny, just really gives it credit as well. The blue sky and all that. This
is City Hall, which has been one of our main sort of music and entertainment venues. It still is. I was there literally at the weekend at a Veggie Fest there, and I want to just go across and have a look at that pub there, because I know people love pubs. This is the Punch Hotel, and it's just an absolutely beautiful building.
Late at night, a lot of fights happen there.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Although it's I think actually a couple of gay friends of mine owned it for a while and tried to turn it into another gay bar. Most of the bars in Hull are gay. It's a very gay-friendly city, which is really weird. Of course, living in Cambridge, you had the first ever transgender mayor, so you should be used to that.
Yeah.
So that's the Punch Hotel. But I'm just going to walk up now to. Whoa! Come on! No! Other way. Getting the hang of this gimbal is. I'm getting her.
It's going well. And
we're getting her.
I like the brick, the blocks. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the first ones they put down were really bad. These obviously are now all part of the whole anti-terrorist stuff.
Oh, right.
If you hit these blocks with your car is not going to be very good afterwards. They are absolutely rock solid. They're built into the ground with steel pillars, posts. They just don't move.
So you can't take one home with you.
You can't. No, but more importantly, you can't drive into this gets very crowded. Some events, the Victoria Square gets absolutely packed with people for various different events during the year, and the last thing you want is some idiot driving them. So now this is Princess Quay. I'm not necessarily going to walk into that one yet, although we'll see how we go. At the wall, this was all docks, all docklands. Queen's Dock. I will walk over to Queen's Garden in a second. But you can see when they built this particular shopping centre, they built it on the dock. So the whole thing is actually on floats, and it's a huge shopping centre in there that sits on there. And over in the background there, you can see behind us. Oops, sorry. Is the marina. Probably won't get time to get down there. Maybe leave that for another day. It's been a long time trying to reinvest in the marina, but you can see some of the ship masts down there. That whole area being redeveloped, World Trade Center and things like that being built up down there. But I want to show you this, because this is important, and they've opened it up now so we can actually go back down, have a look. This is one of the most important historical spots in Hull. It's called Beverley Gate, and it was one of the ancient gates to the city of Hull. And what you can see as we get down and walk down here, they've got bricks covering over the originals, but this is the original Beverley Gate. Now, here's the story behind Beverley Gate. Hull, in the 1600s, had a large armory, the second largest armory in the country, outside of, the second one basically to London. And King Charles I was in all kinds of trouble. Just switch back to me for a second while we're here, so I can actually tell this story. There we go. Oops. Nope. Back. Now, he came to Hull and demanded entrance to the city in order to raid the armory. The people of Hull said, "Sod off, you're not with armed weapons. You can go screw it." So he laid siege to Hull and never got in. The people of Hull refused to allow him to get in, and it's believed that that single act was the trigger that started the Civil War and the reign of Oliver Cromwell. Right. So it all started right here in Beverley Gate. So let's go back up the steps if we can here. Whoops.
Okay. Whilst you're doing that, Rikki, question from Gospel, and the question is, what are you using to film this?
Right, I'm using a Samsung Note 8. I'd like the 9, but my contract still has a year to run. But never mind. And I'm using a Vimble 2 gimbal, Firetech, which I saw promoted on the Gadget Show. It's really, really easy to use. And as you can see, it keeps a really nice, steady pace to your to walking. Now, I'm walking around, walking up and down stairs, and yet it's still keeping a nice control. So, any other questions on that? As we now walk into Whitefriars. This is obviously part of the old town that we're moving into now, and again, people tend not to look up. They miss. I'll switch.
From an historian point of view, I took people for walks in Cambridge who have lived there all their life. Said to them, "Look up." I never knew that was said. And you're right. Lots of people walk past it every day and just don't look up.
Yeah, I mean, look at that beautiful. Can't remember which columns are those.
Oric.
Oric. I should remember from my days as a master of a Freemasons lodge.
Oh, right. Okay.
And not a lot of women can say that.
Right. This is a job done, Rikki, because Gospel is saying, "I must confess, Hull has never been on my list of places to visit. However, seeing this, I'm changing my mind."
Good.
It looks beautiful. So you're doing a good job. Tourist agency.
Well, we're going to go around the corner in a minute and just have a quick look at the Minster, because it was Hull Trinity Church, but as part of City of Culture, the Church of England decided to upgrade it to a Minster, so we have our full-blown Minster now. But you can see this is very dead down here now. This used to be thriving. If I look along here, there's so many of the shops are empty, boarded up, waiting for someone to get them. It's all owned by Trinity, the sort of port authority. Trinity School is down there, Trinity House School, public school. But unfortunately, everything's gone shopping-wise, has all gone up to the St. Stephen's. Princess Quay is struggling.
There is a lot of empty shops there.
Yeah. But it's just there's just not enough footfall, and this is it. I mean, you stay long enough, don't you? Now we've had a battle going on because down here is the indoor market, and it's only just been refurbished. So I'm going to take a little walk around there. I was going to do it the other day, but didn't manage it, so I'll do it now.
Okay.
And it's really now quite nice. And I noticed the other day when I was down here, it was actually getting quite big. Now, I love this shop. This is a little Hull People's Memorial, whoops. as you can see, it's memories of the war. We're coming up to the 100th year anniversary of the end of the First World War. So there's a nice little, very, it's a shop where you can go buy memorabilia and stuff, but also a little museum that's in there as well. And Hull actually has a really good, a really good history with museums. You saw that fabulous building that houses the Maritime Museum, and all the history. Because obviously Hull has a huge history. And my grandfather was a trawler skipper, and most of that family, my grandmother's side, were all trawlers, fishermen as well, and fisherwomen on Hessel Road. So there is no fishing now, it's gone. It's basically a large port, and Siemens own half of it, building huge wind turbines, which is where it's all shifted. But I say all of this has gone. There used to be lots of banks down here, they're pretty much all gone. Yet at night time, this becomes alive because it's full of bars, and it just gets, you can see here, Lloyd's Bank now, Yates Bar, lots and lots of bars, and it really is at night time, if you come down here, it's a completely different place. Absolutely packed, buzzing, just lots of people, especially in the winter. I never understand it, all wandering around in strappy tops in freezing cold. Oh, for anybody, just sort of go for anybody who
I love the brickwork in the road.
Yeah,
that's pretty. A little dog.
This is fabulous little place called the Brain Jar. Does vegan food and vegetarian food. So for anybody looking for vegan, vegetarian food, that's one of the best ones in the city to go to. A lot of friends highly recommend that. So let's
where you're walking.
Wander in.
Look at your view. Looking down the street. This little narrow street. I love stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, we've got some narrower streets, but they're a bit off the track. Here's the indoor market, which has all been sort of updated. It's now a nice place to be able to come. You can sort of come and, as you can see here, sit and have a cup of coffee. And I'm also told there's a falafel snack bar here, which I can't see at the moment, but I will in a moment. That's apparently awesome. Got some excellent food, Italian bake. Oh, there we are, falafel.
Is that open every day, the indoor
this
market?
Is, not sure about Sundays. It's certainly open every day during the week. So this is a main market. I'm not going to go all the way through it because it sort of wanders off down there, but it's just, literally all just been tidied up. They made some bad mistakes. This area got let to a bar at one point, killed it. You've got to encourage people to come in, and having a place where you can just come and sit any time of the winter. It's like being outdoors but being indoors, and I quite like that because I think we have to do that in Britain, don't we? We know the weather's going to be crap sometimes, so there need to be places where you can just sit and be outside. But here is the Minster. I'm hoping I can get in. I had a fabulous museum in there. It's really interesting entertainment, but I know what churches are like these days. They shut the bloody doors. But this again has all been cleared. We've got fountains and the like in here. This was a market over the weekend, or I think one of the days over the weekend. Do you have an outdoor market area? Well, this is occasionally. There is a big market area a little bit further out of town, because the thing with these big markets, you need to be able to get cars into it.
Yeah.
And when I came here the other day, oh no, it's gone. There was a giant moon. Oops. Come. But it's gone. But this is absolutely beautiful. Oh no.
Right, upwards a bit. Up. Brilliant.
Yep.
Wow.
We're there. So here we go.
Oh wow.
Wow, that is good. Yeah.
It always amazes me. It always amazes me how these churches were built. Could we do this now?
We could, because we know the basis of it. Now I can tell a little bit about the background for a lot of these churches because it's Gothic construction, and I can give you a history which maybe not everybody hears about. In 10,000 years ago, the Knights Templars went to Jerusalem and dug under what is now what was the Temple of Solomon is now the Dome on the Mount. And they believe that they found some of the secret construction ideas from the Egyptians, which were used in building King Solomon's temple, which was the main temple there. And they then influenced the building of all of these great cathedrals. Now, they then became persecuted from 1300 and vanished. And the Masons who built those churches created lodges. And in those lodges, they still shared all of the Masonic histories, but they kept it secret. So what they did was they used the tools and implements of the Mason to represent spiritual teachings and spiritual learnings. And they subsequently became the Freemasons. Now, if you start to look back, the history of Freemasonry in England, they say, oh, it started in the 1700s. It didn't. The Scottish can show goes way back before there. And everything I've read indicates it was directly from the Knights Templars, got persecuted and destroyed, started, the way to be free and move around was to be a Mason. It was the only trade where you could move around Britain and you weren't going to be caught with the sort of serfs versus peasants. You know, the people were sort of tied in serfdom. They couldn't leave the town, but the Masons were free. They could move around from church. And these big cathedrals took hundreds of years to build, some of the big ones. This wasn't a sort of overnight building. This was a hugely complex and long-term project. I think we could build it today, but the question is, do we have enough craftsmen who actually could handle some of this enormous, beautiful work that we see when we look around here? I suspect not. I suspect we'd be struggling to find people who could carve this magnificently. So just spent a lot of money refixing the roof, like most churches. I think the roofs are thing. Oh, I didn't catch that one. Let's just catch that huge, big. Oh, just get on the back. I just realised I'm still on me. I just want to catch that. Oh, wow. Can you see? Well, just yeah. So we can see there that massive window up there.
Wow.
Amazing.
So
that's amazing, isn't it?
It is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, so there we are. That's the
works of art.
Yeah, I mean, we missed when I was up at Victoria Gardens. I forgot to point out the Ferrins Gallery, which is our art gallery, which is up on Victoria Square. It was behind me, and I forgot to. It probably was in view, and I just forgot to mention it because there was so many other things to mention.
I'm good at forgetting things. Then walking about a little bit down the road, and I have to go back.
Go back and do it. Yeah. Whoa! Here we go. Come on. I'm still getting the hang of this. This really slow moving, and then it doesn't want to move for me. There we are. Okay. So
I'm impressed by the open spaces. There seems to be a lot of space within the city centre itself.
There is, yes, some nice spaces. I didn't do Queen's Gardens. I mean, it's only a couple of minutes away. I can probably walk across to there.
Okay.
That's the. Whoops! Just show that that's the. Oh no! Come on! That's the market building from the outside there, which is.
Well, what's the thing? The thing in front of you, a bit further up, past the two boulders, standing up there.
Past.
Yeah, it's right in front of you.
Oh, what? That's the boulders.
We'll walk forward, and I'll tell you when you get there.
Where have we gone? Sorry, no, I'm getting the hang of this, but it's sometimes. Come on. Okay, so we're swinging round. I can't see what you can see on screen.
No, it's the other way. The other way.
The other way.
The other way. Right round. I don't know, Steve. Did you see the two silver posts? It's just behind the silver posts. Is it just part of the wall? Yeah, the stone thing.
Oh, what? Or the thing behind it, or the?
Yeah. It's just you're walking towards it now. It's to your left.
Yeah, that's the market.
No. It's part of the wall. No, I see it now. It's part of the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No. It just looks interesting.
And an interesting fact from Cheryl, and she's just saying, I'm so thrilled to see this. I'm in Victoria on her dad's side. And a question from Barbara.
Does that mean we've got royalty watching?
We've got royalty watching, yeah. And well, that's all fun. How far is it from London? We can say that Hull is 150 miles, 4 miles north of London. It's on the east coast, and it's
a 2.5 hour train journey from London.
Wow, that's fast.
So it's not.
That's good.
It's quite a quick journey. You'll get up there. It's a quick turn. Did you see that movie about Queen Elizabeth, or Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret during the war years? It was on a few months back. I don't know whether you saw it. It was just a TV. I don't know, was it two-parter or whatever. But not just that one. But we're about to just walk into a little area called the Land of Green Ginger. I wish I could actually tell you the history of why it's called the Land of Green Ginger. But again,
I just saw a comment popped up. I couldn't see it was about how clean it is, and they're right. It's very well maintained.
Yeah, it is very clean now. I mean, it's. I have to say, Hull's not known for being the cleanest city on the country, but it's actually looking around. I'm thinking, yeah, actually, this is not bad. So here we are in the Land of Green Ginger. Now I'm just going to show you one small thing here. If I can actually find it, it's so small. Whoops. Oh, there it is. So small you can't actually see it. Can you see that window?
Yeah.
This is the George Hotel. It's one of the oldest surviving in England, rumoured to be a coaching inn. Porter seated at the window to watch the coaches. It's the smallest window in England, apparently.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, there we go. I can see it. Yeah. So this is the George.
It'd have been handy in the window tax days.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah. But this is when you're starting to get into the old town, and you can see here, and there's not a lot of shops down here now, partly because the buildings are it's all listed buildings. Nobody can do anything to change them, and so you can't really create the kind of shop fronts that people want. This is Bowl Alley Lane that you're seeing here on the. Whoa, come on, back. Bowl Alley Lane, and this is the lane that in the movie about Princess Margaret and Prince Elizabeth. If you walk down here, you got to Trafalgar Square.
Right. Okay.
So, because they had to come up to Hull to find the kind of places that looked like they would have looked in the 1940s, and there we go. So, it's kind of place that's I'm in a bit of a wind tunnel here, so I can't sort of get most of things. So now, got to go fairly quickly down here because, well, I mean, they're lovely little street. I mean, you can see it's just very, very old buildings. It's all, tiny little alleyways, all single, all one-way streets now because there's no way to get two of anything down these. Little nooks and crannies, little mews and things off to the side in different places. Ahead is what was the courts. They've now moved to a new building, and it's still. When we get out to there, this is the Guildhall, the home of the council. Was slightly damaged in the war. I don't know if I can actually get you up to the top. You can probably see some of the fabulous structures. Great big, it's an awesome building. I'm not going to go down to the front end of it because it's a bit. Oops, back. So I'm just going to cut through to Queen's Gardens, which is our sort of indoor park, or our city centre park. So is it a bit wind? Is it sounding a bit noisy on the wind there at the moment?
No, you're okay. We're good.
Okay, cool. So this is county courts. It was the old county courts. Still all the courtrooms in there. They're still all. I've helped And I was involved in the public sector a lot. We used to go in there and sort of use them for meeting rooms. So you're suddenly sitting in a court to hold a meeting. Very intimidating. Not quite sure why. The Queen's Gardens is all got loads of fencing around it, but it's anyway. The reason I'm coming down here just to in the distance you'll see a small cafe when we get into the gardens. So it's just a nice place in the city centre.
Well, it looks. Wow, that is a nice area.
Now, can you see the little cafe over there?
Yes, we can.
The stage in front of there's a little concrete stage just in front of it. That's the Mick Ronson Memorial Stage. Mick Ronson from the Spiders from Mars. It was memorialised with a small concrete stage because obviously Mick Ronson was a Hull lad and the band was from Hull. Just in the distance there you can see the old Hull College building. They were hoping it would have gone by now because they wanted to knock it down and build a new one, but funding went. But in front of it, can you see the statue? The column? No?
Yep.
Yeah, can you see that?
I still can't see it.
Oh, right in front of the building, there's a grey column standing in the middle of the building. It's sort of centre of the picture at the moment. Just to the right of those trees, you'll see a column in front of the building.
Oh, I can see now, yeah.
You see it? That's the William Wilberforce statue. William Wilberforce, obviously MP for Hull, who was responsible for the abolition, or he put all the motions through Parliament and managed to get slave trading abolished from Hull. Well, he was in London when he did it. So we'll just wander up to the top here. I think we're probably pretty much there now. The building over there was the police station, but they moved that. The cells got flooded a couple of times. I think they decided it was time to move. This was all a big dock once, but after the war, everything had been sort of decimated, so they filled in the dock area and turned it into a garden in the centre of the city. And we've got some interesting new statues. It's called the Cheese Grater. You can probably see why it's got that nickname. It's a white statue here on the left as we're coming up towards it. That was commissioned for the City of Culture. I'm not quite sure who the artist was. I'm sure there's a plaque somewhere which tells me.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why it's called the Cheese Grater now. Brilliant.
Yeah, I got nothing. There's nothing here telling me anything about it other than that it's an amazing, great big statue. Yeah. We have a few problems. These duck ponds are often got horrible, nasty germs in them. So if kids fall in there, they're rushed to hospital straight away. I think that applies to a lot of these places now.
There's so much open space, though. It's amazing. It's really...
I mean, I think the people who live in Hull just don't appreciate, and I think it's often happened, doesn't it? You live in Hull and you can't quite appreciate what's going on. This is
well, it's like me. I lived in Cambridge. I didn't all my life until I think about 5 years ago. I'd never been punting because you just live there and you expect tourists to do it, and so I decided I had to do it. So here's our
Queen's Garden. Chris is the head of Queen's Gardens. And on the right there, you can see, on the right, the BBC, Radio Humberside, and Look North, the BBC programmes. I should be there on Monday at 7 o'clock in the morning reviewing the papers. So
where you're at now is, it's lovely. The plant arrangement, the fountain, that is just amazing.
It's a lovely place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. I just don't understand sometimes why people don't love it. So let's just switch this back to me.
Do you often spend time to because the places that I go as well? Is this a place that you would sit and chill out at? Because certainly somewhere I would if I was there.
It depends upon the day. Yeah, I mean here we are today. It's lunchtime. Am I back in picture? I can't see.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yep. Okay. I can't see a thing on the screen at the moment. It's okay. Am I sort of center screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Fine. So we'll finish from here. So there we are. That's a sort of walking tour of Hull. My knowledge of the history of Hull is a bit limited, but I hope I've been able to entertain everyone with Hull. It is a beautiful city.
Yeah, I think you've definitely got a lot of people wanting to visit as well.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I think us too, haven't we, Stephen? I think we're gonna.
Oh yeah, I love Hull. Rikki, that was amazing. You said you'd be here for 10-15 minutes. We're now 45 minutes. You've done a sterling job taking us through the centre of Hull. We can only thank you on behalf of everybody who's watching today. And yeah, your thoughts, Fonz?
Yeah, no, brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. For being at the other, I've usually so far been where you are, and just take a walk around. I've just been mesmerised by it and really enjoyed walking around. It's a fascinating place, and thanks for sharing it with us.
It's been my absolute pleasure. It's really lovely to be on the show.
Brilliant. Excellent. Right, if you have any questions for Rikki before he dashes off, then please do ask. One question that's come in from Gospel. She's impressed by your network, your telephone network. Which network are you on?
Well, this is it. We only have one option.
Right.
It's KCOM, which is basically Kingston Communications. It's called KCOM. The main sports stadium here is the Kingston is the KC Stadium. Kingston Communications was owned by the council. It's our telephone company. It's now, I say, private company, and it operates all over the place. It's got all manner of services, but it's still the only one available. I think there's a few satellite ones that are coming in now. One or two people have been looking at being able to rent off the network, but very few people come. And in all credit, we put a lot of pressure on them politically, and KC seem to have stumped up. I think it's probably still a little bit more expensive than most others. It used to be cheap, Back when my mum was here, she was always proud of KC because local calls within Hull were always free.
Free, yeah.
Yep, you only paid for calls outside of Hull. Everything within the Hull, because it was owned by the council, they just said, right, if you phone within the Hull 01482 telephone code, then the phone calls are free. That's changed. That's long gone, but KC is still one of the big employers here. It's still, very much a part of the city. We've welcomed Siemens in because they've brought a lot of jobs, and I think hopefully we will actually start to see more organisations, because the Humber is a really. I mean, there are lots of jokes. Somebody once said to me, "The Humber is the arsehole of England, and Hull is stuck 35 miles up it." So it's
right. Okay.
So, but the thing about the Humber is because all of the Industrial Revolution, which took place in Yorkshire, all of the water washed down eventually into the Humber and then washed out. So it was a awful, polluted river. It's now clean. Salmon are now swimming back up the Humber, but it's a very, very big, wide estuary that runs, 35 miles before it even gets to Hull, and then carries on up another sort of 30 or 40 miles to Goole, and it's still a very wide and can take sort of seagoing ships all the way up there. So
comments are coming in thick and fast. Gospel is saying it's awesome. So there you are. You've converted Gospel to actually visiting Hull. And I don't think she'll be there. Kelly's saying I came in late, but thanks for watching the replay. And Barbara's saying yes, it was a lovely tour. Thanks all. And back to Cheryl, who's gone off to work, but love the tidbits of history. Thanks, Rikki, for the Steve. Beautiful tour, much appreciated. Off to my appointment. Thanks so much. We'll have to finish and watch the replay. So there you are, the reaction of our very engaged audience today.
Yeah. Excellent. Please, Dave, enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing it. It's been good fun. I made this month. I'm doing going online live every single day. So and I'm just trying to do different things. And this has been another new thing to my bow. I've been going around Cottingham and a few other places, so they're getting the hang of it, ready for today. But I'm really pleased. It's been a fabulous day, and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you for allowing me to be a guest on your show.
Thing is, from a different angle, from not being where you are, walking around, it's like I've actually took a walk around the whole today. So I feel like so it's been brilliant, and certainly.
Excellent.
The tourist people, in like the tourist board, or if you've got a tourist board in Hull, they're going to wonder all these people are going to come in from that you've now wanted to come to Hull.
I think they have a I don't know, there was some program I enrolled in at one point which was passionate about Hull. We've got a history centre which was built, and last year was the 50th anniversary of the decriminalisation of homosexuality. And an organisation from London came up to help put that together, and they did a history project. And I ended up being in their history project because of the work I'd done, sort of promoting LGBT rights. So that was really quite good. And I ended up as an icon, paraded around in the Hull Parade. And the Hull Pride is usually held here, so this is Hull Pride time is absolutely packed. About 30,000 people down here on Hull Pride. Literally, the gates are here. They just were pouring in, and all through the day. It wasn't as if 30,000 at one time. There was just a constant flow of people coming in, spending an hour, and then leaving and coming and going. Absolutely amazing. And we had Freedom Festival here, which is another big event. So we're actually getting some quite good outdoor events here, which is making Hull worthwhile. And I think if anybody checks on the What's On in Hull, you'll find they're still trying to stick to this idea that there is always some cultural event of some kind happening somewhere in Hull. There are great museums, great places to go, and good events going on regularly.
What I find about the media and the way as well that places were shown, like in Cambridge, I can only say from Cambridge, that you get universities, you get King's College, and people visit it, go looking for these, but they don't. There's a lot that I know that they miss. And today, where you've took us around today, there's a lot that I totally was not aware of. So it's amazing to see that kind of angle where people would not know about, and really it should be told, really, shouldn't it? I think.
I agree. Yeah, and we have a fabulous university here as well. It was a London university, but it's one of the few red brick universities and the entire campus is all on one site. So there's no roads going through the middle of it or anything. It's just one big campus, and I think we've got about 30,000 students there now. So it's a pretty big university, and the reason I stayed in Hull, I came here, found I did a good master's degree, and I just changed gender. Nobody wanted to book me, so off I went and became a student. And
what's property prices like there?
Well, they've got higher. When I first came here 20 years ago, you could still buy a two-bedroom house for under £40,000. Now I was speaking down in Guildford, Hampshire yesterday, and somebody was telling me they were from Guildford University. They said one of her relatives was trying to buy a one-bedroom flat in Guildford while they're at university, £400,000 for a one-bedroom flat. You can still get a house in Hull for 100 grand. The property prices are much lower. It will change. I'm sure it will. There are new places going up, new properties are happening. A lot of old properties a lot of 2 up, 2 down houses everywhere. So there's lots of those available, and they're not expensive. But like everywhere, it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. Whether that's actually going to bring property prices generally down. I suspect it will, personally. But we shall see.
The future in Hull is looking bright, though. I mean, you've shown us around what is.
Yeah, sorry, I think it's a good place. I think they've done a magnificent job in terms of the city of culture. They made the city welcoming. They made it a place where people could come and enjoy. Fabulous events on all the time, and it's a legacy that's remained with the people of Hull, because they now have a really smart-looking city. I sometimes wish some of the little scrats could appreciate that and not muck it all up, but there we go. In the main, I think people are beginning to feel okay. I live in a little village of Cottingham, and there's been this battle between the villages, Cottingham, Andleby, Skidby, that didn't want to be in the Hull postcode area. They are, but they didn't want to be in the, so they're all East Riding. But East Riding is snobbishly different from Hull, and because all the villages, all these expensive. The outlying villages, the sort of slightly more expensive areas. Every city has outlying areas which are more expensive where people live, and that's usually part of the city, and it helps the overall economic state of the city. The problem in Hull was because all the villagers said, we don't want to be anything to do with Hull, we're East Riding. So Hull lost its wealthy suburbs. Yeah. And all that was left then was just a huge amount of social housing. So 55% of housing in Hull is social housing. That puts Hull into the sort of bottom 10 in terms of degradation. And it's on the one hand, it benefited Hull because it attracted a lot of European money. On the other hand, obviously, it's got a lot of flack, particularly from the media, and ended up on the bottom 10 or on the bottom often of places you wouldn't want to live in. Britain. But
that's the thing with media. Once they put something, they don't put the other thing in, and the wonderful stuff you showed us today doesn't get seen, does it? But now
it doesn't.
You brought it out to people, so that's what this show's all about. So
true. Today, Rick, you put Hull at the top of the list.
Right.
Yeah,
the top of the list.
I'm pleased to hear that. Yeah. The wind is now blowing the fountain my direction. Whoops. So I'm getting really, really damp. Yeah, I'm just going to move slightly. But
that sky view is wonderful. You know what I mean? It really.
Fabulous. Yes, it's a beautiful day today. Absolutely fabulous. Okay, so are we there?
We're there. That's brilliant, Ricky. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And it's over to Fonz to close the show. Tradition.
Hey. Yeah, no. Thanks for showing us around. Brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It's been mesmerised. Like watching it, it's fascinating to be on the other end. I really enjoyed it. No, thanks for doing that. And thanks to everybody who's commented. And we'll all have to get together and come to Hull one day.
I shall welcome you.
I think so. Visit to Hull, Yorkshire, and it's a major port, isn't it? I mean, you've got the connection you said earlier with Europe. You've got P&O ferries. You've got a whole range of industry there. But I just want to agree with Fonz and just say thank you.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
It's been brilliant. And hopefully you're the first outside me to walk around where they live. So hopefully you're inspiring other people, and you'll be the first of many other people, and they will follow your example.
Absolutely. I would look forward to it. Yeah, it's really nice just to see these other places. And then...
I bet as well you can say that now because you've been out there. You just get lost in it and the time flies by, don't it? And you just really...
Yeah, absolutely.
You come a part of the moment and sharing that moment, don't you?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
From everyone in Hull in Yorkshire, from Cambridge in Cambridgeshire, and from Devisers in Wiltshire, just thank you for watching this today. We'll be back, Fonz and I, at the same time. That's 9 a.m. Eastern on a Tuesday, 2 p.m. in the UK. Ricky, heartfelt thanks. That was just brilliant. Much. To everybody who's watched, we'll see you again later.
Take care.
Ending the broadcast and